All right, guys. So honestly, I never know if I should make another video or if I should just murmur about these things at my gym, or to my coaches, or even my wife has to listen to she just listen to everything. My complaints about myself, about other people, my random thoughts that I think are just like groundbreaking and earth-shattering. She has to listen to them all and kind of like humor them all. But I never know if I should make another video or if I should just keep those things to myself. Okay. But I decided to make a video because, number one, this year was an awesome year as far as competition goes. At Wodapalooza, to start the year off, I got to compete with Devin and Jay, two coaches at my gym, and we crushed it, man. It was great, and we had a lot of fun. And then going into the Open, I was a little stressful, but we qualified a team, and then I ended up, after 3 passes or so, was able to go as an individual. And this year the team got a lot of valuable experience. I think that if you talk to them, they definitely wanted they wanted more success, right? They wanted a higher placing, but I think that everybody was really proud of the effort they gave, and it just basically showed where we all get to train for the next 12 months while we wait for next year's regional. So, and then for me, I finished 9th in the California region, and although that's the same place I took last year, I've been at regionals 5 years in a row, and I've been top 10 all 5 years. And there's the games athletes that can't say that, and I could name some off the top of my head, but I won't, because I don't want to take away from their accomplishment, because obviously making it to the games and putting it together for an entire season is probably a little bit cooler than taking 5 top 10s at regionals. So that being said, I'm looking at training and my coaching, not of my classes, but my programming and what you guys should be expecting as the year unfolds. So as the year unfolds, there will be bias, there will be emphasis on strength and on skill. Those are areas where at regionals I did very well, and you can see that by at the end of day 1 in the California region, I was in first place. It was a strength workout and a very skill-based workout. For me, I wasn't able to make it to to the games because of a knee injury and maybe a lack of cardio capacity. That's been an issue for me in the past, but obviously my skills and strength has kept me in the top 10. But this year I really addressed those. I just kind of came up with this funky knee injury that I'm still dealing with a week later from regionals, and just the Pistols managed to completely destroy it. So, and then I got on the True Form Runner, and that just destroyed everything that I had left, is kind of what I think. And there you go. But that's the end of the story, really. So for you guys, I really see is a lot of you guys having a lack of skill or strength, right? And I don't mean you're terrible, I just mean that the one thing keeping you off of the next level is skill or strength. So if you think about your gym and where you finished, if you're trying to make a regional team, okay, why were you not put on the team? Did anybody come up to you and say, hey, you're not on this team because we just need a bigger engine from you, right? You are out there. You people are out there. But you have to remember that I would say for a team athlete, you're probably the exception to the rule, right? Most athletes on the team, okay, are not selected based on engine. Why? look at the workouts. Look at event 1. Look at event 2, right? Highly skill-based, right? What happens is in a workout, and especially as regionals is being programmed now, everybody's going to have to do all of the movements, right? I was having a conversation with an athlete last night, and he said something. I didn't stop him because in some sense he's right, but in some sense it's not right. He said, hey, when you're in competition, you play to your strengths, or when you're on a team, you take advantage of your strengths. That is true in competition. But in training, you must start to minimize weaknesses and minimize deficiencies if you plan on being on a regional level team, okay? If you're like, hey, I'm very strong, man, I really want to be on this team. I'm the strongest guy in the gym. Okay, I'm the strongest guy in the gym is good, but if you can't do strict handstand push-ups, I don't want you on my team. I'll take the guy who lifts 30 pounds less than you in the snatch if he is well-rounded, right? Likewise, if you have very high skills, okay, you can do muscle-ups, you can do bar muscle-ups, you can do strict handstand push-ups, but you can't snatch your body weight, okay, especially as a guy, this is a problem. If you can't snatch your body weight as a girl, this is also a problem, okay? Some of you guys won't like me for saying that, but I just hate to tell you, Dave Castro made the team athletes, the team girls, do 5 snatches at 135 pounds, right? And then expect you to do more afterwards. So if you are watching this and you still think that 135 pound snatch is heavy or a muscle up is hard, those are the things you need to be focusing on, right? If you find yourself breathing very heavy, 2-3 times a day, 4 or 5 days a week, right? But you still can't do those things, you are definitely spending time in the wrong place, okay? You are putting your efforts in the wrong areas, and you're like, well, you know what, I'm still doing my muscle up practice, or I'm still doing my strength work. It doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. There are certain chemical changes, there are certain physical demands that your body needs or has gone through or has to go through in order for your body to actually adapt to what you're putting it into, right? So you train 4.5 hours a day and you make sure you get your muscle up practice in. Great, okay? But if you're doing a bunch of heavy strength work and you're wondering why your muscle-up's coming up so slow comparatively to everyone else, that's a problem, right? Look at that. Don't say, well, you know what, maybe if I had another half an hour, I would be okay. Not a good idea, okay? So you guys who are out there, you gotta look at those things. I'm speaking primarily to team athletes because this is where I've grown the most in my understanding of the team competition, is because I've never had a team at regionals before, is strength and skill are really valuable. If you had 6 guys on a team, 3 guys on a team like myself, who didn't necessarily have the best engine, but had very high skills and very high strength, guess what? We're gonna bushwhack the competition, okay? And that's just how it's gonna work, especially at the regional level. Now at the games level, I can't speak to that, okay? If you're a games coach and you're looking at this and this and you're like, man, this guy's what he's talking about. You're right, I have no idea what I'm talking about at the games level. Remember, 5 times regionals top 10. Never a games athlete and never a games competitor on a team. So what I'm saying is, you guys, stop working on the engine if your goal is to make a regional team if your engine is not the problem. But likewise, some of you guys have an engine problem, okay? You can't do 5 snatches at your body weight without being completely exhausted, even though your 1 rep max is 15, 20 pounds heavier than that, 30 pounds heavier than that, right? That's also a problem, okay? So if that's your problem, you definitely need some aerobic work, right? Aerobic work is annoying, and I know it, okay, because I sucked at it for so long, but I'm telling you this, I got way better at it, and it was simply by doing something that Margot Alvarez and her fiance, Alex, told me I should do, and it's these long aerobic warm-ups, okay? And by doing that, your body's prepped for all the other stuff that you want to do, right? But you also are starting to build in volume and aerobic capacity, okay? So you do longer aerobic warm-ups that don't seem optimal, okay? But again, they're not optimal if you suck really bad at something else, all right? But if you suck at aerobic capacity, but you're pretty well-rounded everywhere else, right? there's a sneaky way to get something in. So if you suck at strength, okay, but you're putting it in at the end of your 3 Metcons a day with, 95, 65 thrusters and 115 pound, 75 pound front squats, right? Like that's not the kind of strength work you need necessarily, especially if you're a smaller athlete. If you're a smaller athlete, you need to be pulling on those heavier loads, okay, in strength sessions a lot, presuming you have an engine and you have skills. So I was all over the place, you guys. This is 10 minutes of me kind of talking without any feedback. This is basically just one big run-on sentence, but these are some of the things I'm thinking about. I hope they help you. Like, I literally hope this helps you, and it isn't something that you guys see as frustrating. In fact, it should remove some of the frustrations that you have with your training. Okay, start to prioritize your weaknesses and some rest, so that way in this off season you can get better. Okay, you're not looking for this steady incline of growth, right? In this off season, you need to hit what's called a punctuated equilibrium, right? Typically that's used in science for something that actually does not exist. But anyway, a punctuated equilibrium where you can it does exist, okay? But it's just not, anyway, I don't want to get into that right now. But you can hopefully grow more in the next 3 months than you were able to in the last 9. Does that make sense? Grow more in the next 3 than you were able to in the last 9. Okay? So train hard, but train smart. And once you know you're training smart, train really freaking hard.